You're now preparing to do another Alien film. I guess it's in line with the Prometheus story part of it. Sequel. Tell us a little bit about how differently, with that time gap, what is it now? Almost a 40-year time gap between the two movies, right?
Well, the Alien was a great franchise, and
you didn't do any of the others.
They never asked. I thought, welcome to Hollywood. And that was the first lesson. Here ended the first lesson. I didn't even know it was happening until I found out. So I think that would have been too expensive. That's why I wasn't asked. And because by then I'd done Blade Runner and da-da-da. And I bear no malice. I was pissed for a bit, though, I'll tell you. And but Jim did a great job. Now, I think gradually, one way, it's a hard act to follow. That first Alien was good, special, because of the beast himself. The cast was fantastic. Without Alien, you wouldn't have had the same kind of movie. It's I was going to say it's a monster. It was a beautiful monster, and catatonic when you it was like scary as hell.
And in doing Alien, one of the things that I think it had such a kind of a dreamlike quality to it in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Were you had already found, I guess, H.R. Geiger at that point as someone who you wanted to work with?
Well, the studio weren't sure about it because they thought it was obscene, and I said, well, obscene's good. But because his book Necronomicon had it in there, said, that's the Alien, that's it. And they said, I said, that's it. If we can make that I've never seen anything like that. So then I flew to Switzerland, met Geiger. He didn't want to come because he didn't fly. So we put him on a train, brought him in, and he stayed in Shepperton for almost 10 months. And he was a great, reliable, creative power source. But he worked in secrecy. We gave him one very small studio, like 10,000 square foot studio. We made it very private. He was in there with Mia, his wife and agent, and one person helping. Peter Voisey was a great sculptor. So Voisey helped him a lot on sculpting this stuff. And Peter Voisey fundamentally made what I call the famous croissant, the spaceship, which is fantastic. That was Voisey. And it was a good relationship with Giger.
And in terms of the new one, in terms of how you would prepare, you're getting kind of another shot at preparing.
Well, no, I think they used it up. And they know that. And when you do Alien vs. Predator, you can't do that. Come on. And so I don't care. I mean, really, I say it as it is. That's silly. And so I think they put it away, and I thought, there's a way out of this. We could go back and prequel the whole idea, because no one asked the bloody question, why would you make such a beautiful, perfect monstrous creature, and for what reason? And I always figured it was in the hold of a ship, so that craft was always like a battle wagon for me, carrying bacteriological, biomechanoid monsters that could be put down anywhere that they wanted to be cleaned out and cleaned out.
Like a weapon of mass destruction.
It's a weapon of mass destruction. And that was, and I just eventually went quiet and that didn't mention it because no one was doing it. And so I came back, and that's why Prometheus was cooked up pretty well, I thought. And we've reignited the thing. We did well enough, did very well, to now go to the next one. So the next one is who made it and why. And I'm not going to tell you. And why will be explained.
We come now to Blade Runner. I'm not sure if it's a prequel or sequel to Blade Runner that Denis Villeneuve is undertaking.
Oh, well, I've been working on that script for almost 2.5 years. And I'd planned to do it myself. And so I worked with Hampton, who fundamentally found him. I think he was hiding in New York, and he said, oh, no, not again. I said, yeah, I think I got an idea. Oh, no. And so he came in, and he said, that makes sense. I said, yeah. It's very relevant to the very first one. I'm not going to tell you because you've got to go and pay and see the movie. But it's very relevant. It all makes sense with the overall concept and scheme of things. And it's a very obvious thing when you think about it. And that was the big nut. And he went, yeah. So then we started on that. We spent, I think, another 2 or 3 weeks together. And then Hampton went away and said, I'm going to not write a script, I'm going to write a little novella. So he went away and came back with 110 pages, which was very nice. He said, that's it. I don't want to do it anymore. And then from that, I found Michael Green, sorry. And had a very good time with Michael for almost a year, on and off. And we came up with what I think is a very good screenplay.
And is it about to start?
It'll be shooting by July. And Harrison's in it, and I met with Harrison, talked to him about it, and you're the other guy. I think it's going to be pretty good.